I got to kick this thing off. Can I kick it off? 1, 2, 3, 4. Ladies and gentlemen, listen.
Yo, what's good, everybody? You are now listening to another episode of the Man Listen Show, but before we get started, let's hear a few words from our sponsors.
DDs Daiquiris is your #1 supplier of premium daiquiri mixes. You will love the taste of our classic margarita and signature strawberry mixes. Follow us on Instagram and Facebook at DDs Daiquiris. DD is spelled DEEDEE. You can also find us at www.ddsdaiquiris.com. DDs Daiquiris, giving good vibes to good people, one good drink at a time.
More Grace Counseling and Mediation Services offers individual and relationship counseling as well as mediation services to the community. At More Grace, healthy partnerships are valuable and beneficial. Please visit the website www.moregracecounseling.com for more information about our approach to counseling. More Grace Counseling and Mediation Services, where we offer more grace and more healing.
Please buy the new book by Arika Nicole Moore, Diabolical Tales of Woe. Diabolical Tales of Woe is a thrilling collection of short horror stories that leave you in an excited trepidation to see what will happen next. Prepare to face one horrific encounter after the next in this captivating novel. You can find this book on Amazon in the Kindle and paperback version. That is Diabolical Tales of Woe by Arika Nicole Moore.
Conversate with Us Radio presents the Man Listen Show. We are the blackest radio show on the internet. We bring you our opinion on topics that affect the Black community in an effort to enlighten, enrich, and empower every brother and sister that falls under the sound of our voice. We operate on a no-hating frequency, so be prepared for us to keep it 100% real and 100% Black all the time. Please follow the show on social media, on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, at Man Listen Show. You can also subscribe to the show on iTunes, Spotify, and YouTube. Make sure you give us a thumbs up. Make sure you leave a comment. Make sure you tell everybody about the blackest radio show on the internet, the Man Listen Show. I'm your host, Mark B. So, the rapper, the baby, he's been in some hot water. He's been in a lot of hot water. He kind of got quiet for him because that verses between the Locks and Dipset, they kind of took some of the heat because everybody was so impressed about what Jada did and Jada and the Locks and how they just bullied Dipset. But we're still hearing something about this, and I think it speaks to a bigger situation, a bigger conversation for our community. So the baby made some pretty ignorant comments during his concert. I'll go ahead and bring it up. He was at a concert. I think he was at Blowing Smoke in Miami.
Rolling Loud.
Same difference. Blowing Smoke, Rolling Loud. But so he was doing his show and he went on this rant. And you can see what he said. He said, if you didn't show up today with HIV, AIDS, any of them deadly sexual transmitted diseases that'll make you die in 2 or 3 weeks, put your cell phone light up. Then he said, fellas, if you ain't suck a N-words, you know what, in the parking lot, put your cell phone light up, keep it effing real. And then he had a couple of apologies. His first one was real weak. He said, my gay fans, they take care of themselves. They ain't got no nasty gay N-words. They ain't got no nasty gay N-words. See what I'm saying? They ain't no junkies on the street. And he kind of tried to, stand his ground a little bit. And so his second apology, let me bring it up. So his second apology was, a little bit better. Anybody who had never been affected by AIDS, HIV, y'all got the right to be upset. What I said was insensitive, even though I have no intentions on offending anybody, so my apologies. But the LGBT community, I ain't tripping on y'all. Do you? Y'all business is y'all's business. So he went on later to make another apology that was, much more contrite. So this brother made 3 apologies about this situation. So when you first heard about his comments, this rant he went on at the concert, what did y'all think?
you know what? When I first heard about it, I was like, okay, what did he say? You know, I know he's a wild dude, but when I actually listened to it, I thought it was totally like maybe I needed more context to even understand why he was saying that. That's the first thing that popped into my head was like, where did that even come from? Like, what was going on at that particular time? What was the atmosphere? I mean, something had to trigger that. That's the first thing I thought about. And I was like, number one, that was weird. Number two, I knew you're like, yeah, he they about to rake him over the coals for a while on that one.
Yeah, so I took both of my thoughts. First, I was like, where did that come from? It was so like, left field, and it really just didn't make any sense at all. And then the second, well, I just said the same thing. I was like, man, that dude is weird. Like I had no idea he was that weird. He is really weird. I mean, and it wasn't even just the rants, the quotes that you put up. The fact that he was like, I'll give y'all $1 million, y'all can guess who's in this costume. And then out, jumps little midget Tory Lanez. And I'm just like, but he was like, guess who's in the costume? Guess who's in the costume? So I think my first thought, and of course I didn't watch it live, this is afterwards, but my first thought would have been, okay, this must be like, some throwback rapper, who we haven't seen since the 90s, or maybe a rapper even that was like locked up or out on the scene, somebody that retired. But you brought out somebody who is pretty like recent. And I thought it was just really disrespectful to not just Meg Thee Stallion, but just women, period. Like they're still going through that situation. I guess the trial or whatever it's that's not done. And even if the legal part was done, I'm sure she's not past it. And she like literally just walked off the stage. So I'm thinking, I don't know, this may just be me going too far, but I don't know if he has some type of protective order where he can't be that close to her. And maybe they were all together backstage. So they put him in that stupid ass costume to try so nobody would know who he was until he got on stage. I don't know. Like I keep trying to figure out what the baby was talking about, why he brought Tori out, and why. I mean, I don't know. I cannot wrap my mind around it. Like like Lav said, he's weird. Weird. That's the only thing I can say. He's weird.
It does speak to if you're at a concert and you're talking about, your music, talking to your fans. Y'all make a good point. It is kind of weird to kind of be stuck on that, right? To be talking about, gay activities and really just being insensitive about HIV and AIDS because, that's something that disproportionately affects our community. And a lot of that is his fans. And for him to try to backdoor and say, well, my fans aren't nasty, they ain't doing it in the car like that. Like, bro, it's still insensitive. And like I said, y'all make a very good point. It's just weird. I'm a very much so a heterosexual man. And the last thing I'm really worried about is what some gay dudes is doing to have fun. And I'm definitely not going to be ranting and raving about it.
I wouldn't even cross my mind to say that at a concert. I mean, like, I'm man.
Y'all do you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the fact that you are a performer, you're an artist, and you make your money off performance. Do you think that you don't have a lot of gay fans who are streaming your music, who are paying to come to your concert, and you want to ostracize that community? It's just not smart business about something that really, at the end of the day, isn't really that consequential. And I didn't know that he had brought out Tory Lanez, but that is very disrespectful. It's disrespectful because Tory, there was that instance that happened between them when he shot Megan Thee Stallion, and the baby got a tight song with Megan. That song that he got,
a recent song,
right. Song, right. And like honestly, the baby got some hits, but he ain't on Megan's level.
No,
not.
No, and actually, she did have an order of protection. So, because when it first had happened, I heard him say, maybe he violated it. I don't know how that all works, but they were looking into that or whatever.
Yeah, I'm sure. That's why I said they were probably all mingling together in the back, and nobody had no idea that this 4'1" midget had this big gigantic costume head on, and probably didn't even know who he was back there.
Right.
So I didn't even see that part with Tory Lanez. I just heard about him bringing him out. I didn't even see that part.
So the backlash against him, you know, it's festival season. So there's a whole lot of festivals that's across the country, and he was slated to perform in a lot of them. And one by one, Lollapalooza, you know, some of the other ones, they backed down. They said, listen, we're not going to have him as a part of our festival. I think he lost some sponsorship money because of this, right? And you know, undoubtedly he lost some fans. So he finally made his third apology, right? And I think they were like, hey, listen, man, you know, you're going to have to come. They wanted to sit down and meet with him. And that's when I was kind of like, all right, that's enough. Like,
right, yeah.
What he said was very ignorant. I don't condone it, but it very much seemed as if the LGBT community was trying to make an example of him, because you know they always try to paint and picture us as the Black community is so homophobic. Guess what? This dude was ignorant, but you go around some white dudes, you know what I'm saying? Some Mexican cats, they just as homophobic. So trying to make it seem like the Black community is so homophobic, I ain't going for that, because we done had gay dudes, gay women in our family, in our community. We grew up with them and we accept them. Yeah. We accept them. There's always going to be somebody ignorant, right? But it really just seemed as if it was like a modern day, we're going to buck break this dude. And so I had a problem with that. But the other problem I had was with him. Because, yeah, you made an ignorant comment, and he's a younger guy. I think he might be in his late 20s, early 30s probably. But when you listen to his rhymes and you hear how he talks, this dude is like a very hyper masculine dude. You know what I'm saying? I was talking about, you know, I'm doing this with women, you know what I'm saying? If you try to step to me, I'm ready to fight or whatever. You know, you talk all that ignorant stuff about Black people, but when the gays came at you, you got put in your place. You got put in your place, you know, and so where's the accountability towards our community, you know, and why, as a record industry, why are they allowing him to say things that are so vile about us and our women, but when he says something about another community that does include us as well, he gets slapped on the wrist? That was just something that I thought about.
Yeah, but I think we got to hold ourselves up to a higher standard.
Yeah,
she's like, you know how, like, we can talk about each other. Like, I can say what I want about, you know, y'all, the crew, my homies, my homegirls, my cousins, but if somebody outside of the family says something, it's going to be a problem. And I think that's what it was, is he was speaking against people that he wasn't a part of. So as you know, if enough Black people start saying, we're not going to continue, you know, like we all grew up on gangster rap. Like we grew up in the, you know, in the 90s. That was when we were all in high school and stuff. But now that we're older, we're looking back and we're like, man, you know, that was really wasn't productive, you know, to, you know, Black people into the hood growing up. But until we all start saying that and stop listening to it, or say we're not going to listen to it, oh, you can't talk about killing other brothers, and then we protest them, then people will probably come down on him harder. Right now, it's just like we're accepting it. So I think that's the difference.
Yeah, I think that plays into it. But I think you kind of started hitting on a key, I was about to say a keyer point, the main point, which is when it comes down to the record industry as a whole, you know, why is it just, it's so easy, it's so simple, it's just part of the game to disrespect the Black community and things like that. And anytime you do something or say something to any community outside the Black community, then you got to go on your apology tour. You got to walk back everything you said, and it is kind of interesting. It gets you to wondering, why is it the way it is right now? You know, and I think that might be part of the reason why he felt like he could get away with saying what he said, because he like, man, I disrespect people, particularly Black people, all day, every day in my music. I have some very disrespectful lyrics, and they invite me. I'm making millions right now. I'm selling out shows, being so disrespectful. And you know, if you listen to that song, I don't know if you listen the Moneybagg Yo song. It at the beginning of, he got like a Lil Wayne clip, and Lil Wayne talking about drinking lean, and he was like, when I drink this lean, I don't know what, but I made more money than I ever made before. I'm more popular than I ever made before. So guess what? I'm gonna do it again. I'm gonna keep doing it, you know. And so that's where the artists get in a situation where I'm saying all this wild stuff and I'm more popular than I ever thought I could be. So I'm just gonna do it. You know, this made me popular. So, you know, and they get a little too ahead of themselves sometimes.
You know, and we know the game. We know the game. You know, our conscious rappers, they don't get the same promotion. You know, they don't get the same push. People aren't feeling them. You know, a few came through. Lauren came through. Kanye, before he sold out and went crazy, you know, he came through. But you know, like the KRS ones, the Commons, the Dead Press, you know, the guys who are really like kicking like Black empowerment, they just don't get a lot of promotion. And the ones who are super ignorant do. I've said it on the show 1,000 times. When the movie Straight Outta Compton was a Straight Outta Compton,
Yeah.
NWA movie, I refuse to see it. And so many people told me, man, it's a good movie, it's a good movie, it's a good movie. But like I said, and I've said it before, I look back on how terrible that group was for Black people. I'm glad Ice Cube left. Ice Cube left, got with the nation, and he started talking more, you know, Black empowerment, Black uplift.
Right.
But, you know, the guys that stayed, Easy, Ren, Dre, they kept promoting the nonsense. And whenever you have the biggest artist ever made to apologize, y'all remember when Michael Jackson came out with that song and he said the K word. I don't even want to say it because they might ban our YouTube. There's a K word that talks about Jews. And Mike was using that, you know, not even in a negative connotation. He was just talking about how it was used towards a certain group of people. Man, they made him apologize. The Jewish community came out. Mike, I can't believe you used that word. He had to go re-record that portion, and they had to edit that out of the song. And this is Michael Jackson. This the dude that was traveling across the world, selling out stadiums, having white girls screaming and passing out. You know what I'm saying?
Just because they saw him, yeah.
Yeah, he did. He didn't even perform. He came on the stage with that glove, see, and they was falling out. And he had to apologize, you know. And Mike, you know, he called him out for what they did. Mike wasn't no punk. Now, you know, you might talk about Mike, what he did with his skin and, you know, having them white kids and all that stuff. But when it came to talking about, you know, the industry and what they do, Mike was a real one. He was for real. That Gary, Indiana showed up. But what y'all think, man? Y'all think he gonna bounce back? Y'all think the baby gonna bounce back, or you think he gonna be canceled all the way?
I don't think he's going to be canceled all the way. I think he'll find his way back. He may never, or it may take a while before he headlines a big concert like Lollapalooza, which he didn't get to or anything like that. But he'll survive this, because I think there has, and rightfully so, I think there's kind of been a counterculture or counter to the cancel culture, and a lot of people are like, you know, it's you know, when you do cancel culture, it's not beneficial to anybody. You know, everybody makes mistakes. You know, we need to be able to learn and rehab and give people second opportunities, second chances. So I think he'll be all right.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think he'll come back eventually, but I mean, he doesn't need to. He won't be missed.
I think there was a lot of cats who were like, and this was an ignorant meme, and a lot of guys are repeating this. They were like, well, if they could cancel the baby, why can't we cancel Lil Nas X? And I was like, first of all, you know, I don't really care for Lil Nas X and the type of, you know, stuff he puts out, but he didn't say anything negative towards a community. You may think that he's being used or being, you know, taken advantage of with what he's putting out, but it's not on the same level as the baby. I think that his fans, his core fans, are going to stay with him, but I think that crossover money that he probably was on the cusp of getting, he probably hurt himself with that. You know, Kevin Hart had made some jokes back in the day, and they pulled that up and they made Kevin apologize, and Kevin's still doing this thing. Now, I'm not putting the baby on Kevin's level, but I think, you know, I think he can come back.
Right.
You know, I like his music. It is somewhat ignorant, but he got, you know, he could flow. He got a nice beat or whatever. So I'll probably still, you know, listen to it on the radio. I don't stream it or anything like that, but I'm not to the point where I'm going to turn him off if he comes on the radio. Now, there's some people that come on the radio, I'll turn them off because I am about canceling folks. For real, like Justin Bieber, Justin Bieber come on, that little dude use the N-word all the time. Now I'm done. Whenever he come on, I'm turning him off.
I didn't know that he used the N-word.
I didn't either. Yeah.
I turned off Justin Timberlake though.
And I was going right there. Justin Timberlake, he will forever be canceled for me for what he did.
Right. Yeah, I didn't know about the whole Justin Bieber thing though.
Ever be canceled. So
was Justin Bieber using it or was he trying to be down?
Don't matter.
Not that it makes an excuse.
Yeah, don't matter. Yeah. He used it back in the day. I think.
Yeah, so that's what. But I mean, I'm not saying it matters, kind of. I mean, we don't use it at all now, but 20 years ago, and probably even less than that, I did. So that's what I'm saying. Was he 18 or 19 trying to use it to be cool, or was he using it derogatory? Because if it was derogatory and they still let him, hang around, then
I see your point, see,
right?
But that goes to why you shouldn't use it at all, because the lines can get blurred really simply.
Yep.
And you mentioned Kevin Hart, Marv, and he bounced back pretty quick. He was just on the Olympic coverage, NBC.
But he's a comedian, though.
I understand, but still,
Yeah, they talk about everybody.
Now this article is from 2019. I don't know why
they're always coming with receipts.
I don't know why they have Adam Sandler on here, but Justin Bieber has spoken out on his past use of uneducated and hurtful racist language, which saw him facing a barrage of controversy in 2014. The Canadian pop star was heard making racist jokes and using the N-word in a linked video clip 5 years ago. Why are black people afraid of chainsaws? He said at one point by repeating the phrase, run N-word. So ain't no excuse.
No, I wasn't making no excuse. You know that. I just was asking. I listen to him anyway.
You was kind of letting you was about to let him into the cookout. See, I don't know.
I don't do invites.
Yeah, right. Hey,
I don't do invites.
It ain't too many people coming. But Kanye's on when Donda come out, he can come back to the cookout.
Lab, I'm waiting on it.
Hold on.
Yay is back.
Wait, before we go to that, hold on one second.
Hope said it's time for Return of the Throne.
So some people like to give oh man, he apologized. This is August 5th, 2021. Justin Bieber apologizes for supporting country artists who uses the N-word. So Justin Bieber, he gets no play. I'm with you on that one. He gets no play at all.
The culture vulture too.
Yeah. But to your point about Kanye is out of here. I don't want to hear none of that shit. None of it. I don't get it.
We'll be streaming it.
I don't get it. This is why I don't get. Y'all were so quick to cancel Chrisette Michelle.
You say y'all.
Who's y'all? I never listened to Chrisette Michelle up front anyway. So I didn't have to cancel her.
To her because she did a performance for Trump during the inauguration. They talked bad about her. She did some other stupid stuff, like she posted like she had an abortion or whatever. And she posted she did some little tripped out stuff. But people have been so hard on her. And
so let me ask you this.
So hold on, I'll let you answer. So
yeah.
I think it's indicative of how we are so much harder on our black women with the Kevin Samuels and all the other people. But then this fool Kanye, he gets to be out here this fool Kanye down with Trump, wearing the Make America Great Again hat, talking all this dang foolishness, right? That's anti-black, supporting people who are anti-black, but just because he can make some hard beats, y'all gonna let him back? Nah, bro. Nah.
Well, I haven't answered that, but I'm gonna let Lav go first. Go ahead, Lav.
Because I'll be honest with you. In my personal opinion, sellouts, I can't stand sellouts more than I do the other folks, than the Justin Biebers.
I'm gonna respond, but Lav has to talk. So
just like for white folks, you know who white folks hate more than black people? Like some racist white folks hate more than black people. Racist white folks hate N-words, but you know what they hate more? N-word lovers.
Yeah, Clayton Bigsby. Yeah,
they do. If you're an N-word lover, they hate you because they know you mess around, had that throwback baby like Archie. You know what I'm saying? In Buckingham Palace, you mess around me like that. Steve.
Okay. Let me. I'm gonna tell you this again. Like I said, I never really. I mean, Chrisette Michelle had a couple of songs that was cool. She was on a couple of hooks. you know, that was cool, but I never fancied myself a Chrisette Michele fan or anything like that. But to me, I view it a little differently. Kanye was spewing foolishness before back in Trump. Chrisette Michele, it seemed like it was a money grab. And so I think that's why people may have canceled her, because she was like, I'm going to throw all that to the side just for the sake of making the money for the dollar. Whereas Kanye, I don't think that's what it was about. It wasn't about making the money, because he already was in a position that I don't know that back in Trump enhanced him. Her performing financially, she benefited directly from that. And I think that's where some people had a problem with.
So, I mean, Lab was pretty much in my head on that one. I was going to say the exact same thing. For one, Chrisette, she didn't have a whole lot of mainstream fans. She had like her group of fans, but she wasn't mainstream across the board like Kanye worldwide. I think had Chrisette Michele been Mary J. Blige or Beyonce, she probably had only got canceled for just a little bit too and would have been able to bounce back. But that's just not the position that she's in. And then, like he said, like Ye was going through some serious mental illness issues, and he had been talking crazy and reckless forever, and he was just trying to get Black people to change, but was going about it the wrong way. Same way when he said slavery was a choice. I got what he was saying. Everybody else gets what he said. You did, because you said the same thing about Killmonger being your favorite person in Black Panther movie. That's the same thing. He just delivered it wrong, is what he was saying. But it was a choice. If you just know what he was saying, he just don't know how to deliver his message. The boy can write lyrics and bars, but when you catch him off guard and put a camera and microphone in his face, he just says anything crazy. So that's why I feel like that's a little bit different.
First of all, he can make beats. Him making lyrics and bars, that's questionable.
That Through the Wire is a classic.
Kanye can spit. Kanye can spit.
Through the Wire?
He ain't in nobody's top 10, 15, 20.
That Through the Wire song is top 5.
In anybody's top 10, 15,
ever?
20 lyricists ever.
No, but there's only 20 people that are. So I mean,
so then he can't spit. So then he can't spit. So
well, I mean,
but to my other,
there's 20 people that come. I mean, come on, 20 is such a small number.
Yeah, I mean, people have been rapping since the 80s.
Number. So you're saying only 20 people can spit in the history of rap?
I'm saying that when people do classifications of top performing artists, when they do anything like that, they usually have top 5, top 10, top 20. Kanye. Yeah. He ain't there.
Okay. I'm not debating that he's not in top 5 or top 10.
The baby got more bars than Kanye. But anyway, yes, he does.
Man, come on. So we need to wrap this up. Somebody,
we do. But here's my thing.
Stop saying that for we get canceled.
Man, for real.
Here's my thing. Kanye. Okay, so you say he did. Oh, he just made a mistake. He don't know how to articulate it, right? Mm-hmm. He didn't do it just once. He didn't do it just twice. He did it like 3-4 times, right? And each time he got more and more ignorant, more and more stupid with it. More and more ignorant, and more stupid. And I'm gonna tell you, sellouts are dangerous.
Chrisette Michele is the definition of sellout, literally.
Okay. So then right. So she's the definition of sellout, and we cancel her. Cancel Kanye too.
Kanye lost his mother and didn't get the help that he needed.
It don't matter. Do you think his mama wanted him? His mama wanted him supporting racist Trump?
No, I'm sure she didn't. I mean.
Okay. Y'all making. Listen, I believe in holding grown men accountable, and I think that's a problem with that dude. He ain't got nobody holding him accountable. People are like, yeah, Kanye, keep making music that makes us feel good. And I just ain't with it. I hope y'all enjoyed down there, and I hope everybody who went, to the listening parties in Atlanta. I hope y'all.
I'm going to enjoy it. I'm
hope
going
y'all
to enjoy
safe it. And wear y'all masks, and then get that Delta or that new Lambda variant. But as for your Kanye is right on the shelf with Justin Bieber. Out of here.
Oh, are you kidding me?
Out of here. But anyway, I think we talked about it enough. Make sure y'all follow us on social media on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at manlistenshow. Make sure you subscribe to the show on iTunes, Spotify, and YouTube. Give us a thumbs up, leave a comment, tell people to follow us. Make sure you tell everybody to follow the show, and we'll holler at you next time. Peace.